What if I told you that deep beneath the Negev desert, behind blast-proof doors and classified clearance levels, Israel is quietly building the engine that will power the most advanced fighter jet the Middle East has ever seen? Right now, Israeli engineers are running full throttle tests on a next-generation propulsion system designed specifically for a sixth-generation stealth fighter that doesn't fully exist yet, but whose heartbeat is already running. The world's superpowers are racing to dominate the skies of tomorrow, and Israel just revealed it refuses to be left behind. What exactly are they building inside those secret test cells, and why does it matter for the future of aerial warfare? Let's break it down. Deep inside Israel's most restricted military zones, a network of specialized engine test cells operates in near total secrecy. These are not ordinary hangars. These facilities are engineered to contain explosive thrust forces, absorb acoustic signatures that could be detected by satellites, and maintain precise thermal control during extreme propulsion tests. The Israel Aerospace Industries, known as IAI, along with the Israeli Air Force's classified research divisions, operates these cells under strict protocols. Radar-absorbing infrastructure lines the walls. Separate power grids feed the facilities to avoid detection through energy consumption analysis. Personnel working inside operate under lifelong non-disclosure agreements. Even satellite imagery reveals almost nothing. The architecture is deliberately designed to minimize thermal and electromagnetic signatures. These test cells represent the physical birthplace of Israel's most ambitious aerospace program to date. Every bolt tightened, every sensor calibrated inside these walls is a direct step toward a fighter jet that will permanently redefine regional air dominance for decades. Israel's current aerial backbone, the F-35I Adir, remains one of the most capable stealth fighters on the planet. But military planners are not thinking about today. They are engineering for 2040 and beyond. The threat landscape Israel faces is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Iran is developing long-range ballistic missiles and advanced air defense networks. Hezbollah now operates precision-guided munitions. Regional adversaries are acquiring Russian and Chinese radar systems specifically designed to detect fifth-generation stealth aircraft. The F-35, as dominant as it is, will face serious detection and engagement risks within 2 decades. Israel's answer is a sixth-generation platform, faster, smarter, more autonomous, and built around an entirely new propulsion architecture. The engine is not just a component, it is the foundational technology that determines every other capability. Speed, altitude, stealth thermal signature, and combat range all begin with what happens inside that engine test cell. A sixth-generation fighter engine is not simply a more powerful version of existing turbofan designs. It represents a fundamental rethinking of propulsion physics. These engines must deliver adaptive cycle technology, meaning they can shift between high-thrust combat modes and fuel-efficient cruise configurations mid-flight without pilot input. They must operate at significantly higher temperatures than current materials allow, pushing the boundaries of ceramic matrix composites and single crystal turbine blade technology. They must also manage thermal signatures with extreme precision, because a stealth aircraft is only as invisible as its heat output allows. Israel's engine program is believed to incorporate variable cycle architecture, meaning the core airflow can be dynamically adjusted based on mission requirements. This is not theoretical engineering. It is being tested right now inside those classified cells. The data being collected today will define the performance envelope of a fighter that will fly combat missions well into the second half of this century. Few countries outside the United States possess the indigenous aerospace capability that Israel has quietly built over 6 decades. Israel Aerospace Industries employs over 15,000 engineers and scientists, Elbit Systems develops advanced avionics and electronic warfare suites. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems produces some of the world's most sophisticated air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons. These are not contractors waiting for foreign contracts. They are active participants in Israel's sovereign defense ecosystem. The engine test program draws on this entire industrial base. Materials research from the Technion Institute feeds directly into turbine blade development. Software algorithms developed for Israel's missile defense systems are being adapted for engine health monitoring and autonomous performance adjustment. What makes Israel's sixth-generation program uniquely dangerous to its adversaries is not just the technology itself. It is the fully integrated national ecosystem that produces, tests, refines, and deploys that technology faster than almost any other nation on Earth. Sixth-generation fighters will not simply be flown by pilots. They will think alongside them. Israel's engine test program is inseparable from its broader investment in artificial intelligence for aerospace applications. The engines being tested are equipped with thousands of embedded sensors feeding real-time data to machine learning systems that monitor performance, predict component stress failures, and autonomously optimize fuel burn during test runs. This same AI architecture will eventually manage the engine in combat, adjusting thrust vectoring, thermal output, and power allocation to onboard directed energy systems in real time. Israel's Unit 81 and the IDF's Technology and Logistics Directorate have been deeply involved in developing the software frameworks that will integrate propulsion management with the aircraft's broader combat systems. The engine is not a mechanical object in this program. It is a data-generating node inside a fully networked, artificially intelligent weapons platform that will operate in ways no current fighter can replicate. No advanced aerospace program develops in complete isolation, and Israel's sixth-generation engine effort is no exception. Israel and the United States share one of the most sophisticated defense technology relationships in the world. Through the F-35 program, Israeli engineers gained direct exposure to Pratt & Whitney's F-135 engine architecture, currently the most advanced fighter engine in operational service. Classified cooperation agreements between the Israeli Ministry of Defense and the U.S. Department of Defense are believed to include provisions for propulsion technology sharing relevant to next-generation programs. Additionally, Israel has maintained quiet but productive aerospace research relationships with certain European defense establishments. What Israel brings to these partnerships is not dependency, it is reciprocal value. Israeli advances in radar-absorbing engine inlet design, thermal management coatings, and AI-driven engine diagnostics are technologies that partner nations want access to. The test cells in the Negev are not just Israeli infrastructure, they are nodes in a global sixth-generation development network. When most people think about stealth technology, they think about angular airframes and radar-absorbing materials. But one of the most critical and least discussed stealth challenges is infrared signature management, and it begins entirely with the engine. A fighter jet's engine exhaust is one of the most detectable signatures on any battlefield. Modern infrared search and track systems deployed on advanced Russian and Chinese fighters can detect engine heat plumes at ranges exceeding 90 kilometers. Israel's engine program is specifically addressing this through advanced exhaust mixing technology, ceramic thermal barrier coatings, and novel nozzle geometries that break up the heat signature before it exits the aircraft. The test cells in Israel are equipped with state-of-the-art infrared measurement arrays that record exhaust signature data across multiple spectral bands during every test run. Reducing that signature without sacrificing thrust performance is one of the central engineering challenges of the entire program, and the data coming out of those test cells is directly solving it. Piecing together Israel's sixth-generation timeline from open-source intelligence, defense industry reporting, and official statements reveals a program that is further advanced than most analysts assumed. Israeli defense officials publicly acknowledged a next-generation fighter development effort as early as 2021. IAI's annual reports have referenced increased investment in advanced propulsion research infrastructure. The Israeli Air Force's long-term procurement plan, partially declassified in budget documents, includes a sixth-generation platform entering initial operational capability no later than 2045. Engine ground testing at this stage typically precedes first flight by 8 to 12 years, placing the current test cell activity squarely within a logical development timeline. Component-level testing of advanced turbine materials has reportedly been underway since at least 2019. The program is not in its infancy, it is in full developmental stride, and the engines running inside those classified cells today are likely third or fourth generation test articles in an already mature engineering process. A sixth generation Israeli fighter does not exist in a geopolitical vacuum. Its development sends immediate and unmistakable signals to every state actor in the region. Iran's air defense investment, which has consumed billions of dollars over the past decade, is rendered strategically uncertain by a platform that can penetrate its most advanced radar networks. Saudi Arabia and the UAE, both pursuing their own advanced fighter acquisitions, must recalibrate their threat assessments and procurement strategies. Russia, which supplies air defense systems to Syria and has advisors embedded with Iranian military units, faces the prospect of its export technology being rendered obsolete by Israeli engineering. China, which has sold radar systems and surveillance infrastructure across the region, sees its technological influence directly challenged. For Israel, a sovereign sixth-generation capability is not just a military asset, it is a geopolitical instrument that reshapes deterrence calculations across an entire region and signals to the world that Israeli aerospace capability has permanently entered the top tier of global military technology development. Israel's sixth-generation engine program is a data point in a much larger global story. The United States is developing the next-generation air dominance platform. The United Kingdom, Italy, and Japan are building the global combat air program. China is advancing its own sixth-generation concepts at a pace that has alarmed Western defense establishments. Every one of these programs is, at its core, an engine program first. The propulsion system defines everything else: range, speed, stealth, power availability for directed energy weapons, and autonomous system integration. What Israel is testing in those classified cells in the Negev desert is not just a national defense project. It is a contribution to the global evolution of aerial warfare technology. Small nations with advanced indigenous defense industries have historically punched far above their weight in shaping the direction of military technology. Israel has done it before with drones, with missile defense, with electronic warfare. It is doing it again, quietly, precisely, and with absolute strategic intent. If this breakdown gave you a clearer picture of what is really happening in the skies above tomorrow's battlefields, then hit that subscribe button right now, because this is exactly the kind of deep dive defense analysis we publish every single week. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Israel's sixth-generation program will change the balance of power in the Middle East? Share this video with anyone who follows aerospace, defense, technology, or geopolitics, because this is a story the mainstream media is completely ignoring. And if you want to go deeper, our next video breaks down how China's sixth-generation program compares and why the gap may be smaller than the Pentagon wants to admit.